Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something a little bit different. I recently took delivery of this keyboard called ZSA Voyager. And I just wanted to unbox it on camera, share my thoughts about what's inside the box, and and hopefully follow up with more content. So just for reference, I'm currently using this keyboard, which is a self-built Ferris sweep, using the low-profile chuck switches. But let's get started. So this is the main box of the Voyager. Just get rid of the glass. You can see a nice little logo. There's a Voyager name on it. It's a company made by ZSA Keyboards. Very good company. Highly recommend. On the Moonlander before for a couple of years. Have sold it. I felt like I had a little bit too many keys. But I do love this company, how they configure the Oryx, how they handle business. I just think they're really ethical and they produce really good quality stuff. And the support is next to. It's just really, really good support. Nice little simple logo, simple box. ZSA logo with a platypus. I'm not sure what the origin of that is. And there's nothing underneath. This little box additional is a tripod mounting kit. The reason why I've ordered this, the bottom of the Voyager has, as we'll see in a minute, has a magnetic kind of imprint on a steel plate underneath that allows you to connect this little gadget that's in this box and then screw it into any kind of standard tripod mount. So I've got these what they call a Z-head tripod mounts, which they move. I don't want to move it because it's set up for my angles. But what this allows you to do is to screw anything into it, and the way I use it is essentially I use this angle for tenting. And currently I've got these magnetic mounts that fit the kind of iPod style MagSafe connector that allows me to connect my keyboard. So underneath my keyboard, I'm just going to flip this one upside down, I've got this glued steel ring that matches the matches the size, that allows me to hook it up to this magnetically. So I can swap. I've got quite a few homemade keyboards. So right, so let's see what's in this box. Let's start with this one. Let me just get a key and open this up. Right, so in here should be, so they've got a version in black and white. If you go to the website, you see that there's two versions, one black and one white. Not sure what's going on here. Struggling with this box. Some skill issues when it comes to unboxing. Why is this not coming out? Well, I'll just say good quality box. Right, so in there we should see we've got a couple of bits. So this is like a sandwich style case. Okay, I need to get rid of these stickers. Sticker struggles. There's a couple of stickers in there. I'm trying to get rid of this. This is a little bit disappointing. Come on, let's cut this. One and two. Right, one sticker's gone. Stick in there. The other sticker is gone. Right. So in here, you've got underneath this plastic, you've got two of these little widgets. They are magnetic. So in there, they've got 4 magnets each, and it pairs up with the bottom of the Voyager, and I set them in black and white. So this piece here is plastic, and you've got a threaded insert. There's brass, but it sounds looks of things that fits kind of 3-point or whatever, the 1/4 of an inch thread on most tripod mounts. So I'm going to remove this later and try it out, but for now, got these. And because the way this is intended to be used is with, sorry, I stuck on. You could potentially spread it out on a desk where you've got it mounted to like C-clamps or something like that, or to your chair. They also include this, I believe, is 2 meter long TRSS cable, so tip, ring sleeve, for connecting the two halves of the keyboards together, which is really good because you don't need to search out for aftermarket parts. So I've ordered it at the same time because the shipping in the UK is expensive, and I didn't want to pay twice. And at some point, I might want to use that with my mounts, or even use it C-clamps to hook it up to the desk. Who knows? But I want to have the option. So sell in black and white to match the color of the keyboard. I went for the black. So let's have a look what's inside here. I'm just going to move this to the side. Okay. Let's put this away. All right, let's close this box up. Move this to the side. Okay. So I'm going to take this tray out, and then I'm going to look at the keyboard in a minute. But in here, you've got a little tray with essentially it's spare switches. As you can see, you've got 4 spare switches. There's a number of different types of switches that you can choose when you're ordering the keyboard. I went for the linear red switch, just kind of box standard. I'm a kind of heavy typer, so I like a heavier switch. So this is a 50 gram actuation force. I believe the heaviest switch that they offer on the website is 60 gram brown switch, which is supposed to be tactile. I have used it before, didn't really like it. It felt a bit scratchy, so I prefer the kind of smooth linear switch. But the keyboard is hot swappable, so you can always swap it out for any other chalk version 1 switch. So if you open this, the really good this is nice. This has got like magnetic strips in there. As you can see, there's magnetic strips. So in there you've got so many keys, it says, and some extra switches too. So the Voyager comes with lots of extras. This reusable case contains a selection of keycaps for customizing keyboard, as well as 4 spare key switches. With love, ZSA. So you've got 4 switches spare, which is great. They don't tend to, wear out that much. I mean, I think last time I checked, the number of actuations for these switches from KL is 50 million actuations, so it's going to definitely last years and years. But you got the option to swap them out. Now, the beautiful thing about ZSA is that you've got these extra keys that they include with the keyboard. So, for example, myself, I don't use the QWERTY layout, I use the Colmac layout. So even though I'm a touch type, as you can see, this keyboard hasn't got any legends on. It's nice to have the option to have the legends, and a lot of keyboards, a lot of keycap sets do not include the kind of tactile bumps when you can feel your home row position for your index fingers for any other layout other than QWERTY. So I believe this supports layout with Dvorak, Colmac, and probably some other layout. Plus you get extra switches, for example, command to match Mac if you're using it on a Mac, or OS if you're using it on a Linux. Control option for Mac. Backspace, Alt, you got some arrow keys. This is a tab, return, space, Voyager key, tilde, and you got the generic kind of random dot ones if you just want to use a dot. And there's a couple of dots with the homing bumps. You've got the homing bumps for F and J, TNN, and U and H. So TNN would be my choice, which I will have to do on my keyboard. By default, it comes out configured as QWERTY, so I'll rejiggle the keys later. But as you can see, you got 4 switches, and they're very, very low profile. You can see they are very slim, much slimmer than the kind of standard cherry switch that you would see in most keyboards. So I'm just going to pop this in for now. I'm not going to do key swapping today while I'm unboxing. I'm just going to pop this to the side. Okay, right. So in there, so we got a little message in there. Thank you for supporting us. Get started at zsa.io/go. We care about your Voyage experience and would love to hear from you. I can attest to that. I have contacted ZSA in the past before with various questions I had about moon landing, configuring some specific, very kind of advanced features of it. And they always get back to me within a day. They're always very responsive, very friendly. They love to hear back from the community about how people get on with the keyboards, what they use them for. I will also recommend signing up to the newsletter. So in here, we've got a little tray, little insert. The keyboard is there. Let's put it to the side. So in this insert, you've got, looks like a bunch of cables. So you've got, in here, you've got, let's say push this way. So this is something that I have seen before on the Moonlander. This is a branded, kind of standard keycap puller. So this allows you to spread around the keycap and, go around it and pull it off. And this is a switch puller. So this allows you to grip around the switch and pull it out of the keyboard assembly. If you can see, I've got another kind of generic one here, which is just a keycap puller from another keycap set. I've got lying around on my desk. I'm just going to pop it back in here for now. And in here, you've got, what's that? Oh, that's fell out. So that's a USB-C to USB-A converter. So if you haven't got a USB-C port on your computer, on your machine, then you can use this converter, because I believe all the cables included with the Voyager are USB-C. So in there, that's a little kind of tube. It's all cardboard packaging. There's no plastic, which is great. What have we got? We've got a tiny little short USB-C lead. I believe that's the medium size. I'm not sure what the actual size is. You can find out on the website, but that's the middle size. This is the shortest, I believe. So this is if you've got your keyboard really close to each other. I believe the idea is that if you have it on a desk with a kind of desktop machine when you don't have anything on your desk, then this is the kind of cable that they recommend, because that's kind of allows you to space it out roughly where most people will have it. The medium length is for when you're working on the laptop, so you can kind of have it on the sides of the laptop if you also have your laptop a little bit closer, if you're using it as your main screen. And this is the longest one. This allows you to kind of wrap it around any kind of peripherals that you might have on your desk. And then obviously the one that you get with the tripod mount is the longest. And this is the only length of TRS cable to connect the two halves together that they provide. I'm not going to use that, but I've got this nice kind of metal cable here that I'm going to reuse. So this is what I'm going to do. So let's just put this back, because I already have USB-C cables here, so I'm not going to use any of these for now. Let's just stuff them back in here. Don't need them for now. Okay. And this, I also don't need this, but I'm going to put it in there. I don't know which way it's supposed to go. Struggles real. Right, let's put this back. Try to get this back in. Okay, I'll give up. Do it later. Right, so the rest of the keyboard is the actual main event itself. Oh, here you go. There's a little message inside. I want to hang out with your books. Put me on your shelf and keep all of the extras you got for the Voyager right in here. That way you always know where they are. So this is a nice little message in here. I mean, the box is good quality. I personally try to keep the boxes. At some point I want to resell this, so who knows. So nice little padded case. This is a kind of soft shell-like case, kind of like you get in soft shell jackets, so to speak. Little Voyager branding. Couple of zips. We're gonna get into that. So I'm gonna open it up. It's Velcro. It's pretty good. Looks like stitching is very, very good all around. You flip it around, and inside here, this is something quite good. I'm just gonna remove this from this Velcro so we can get it to the camera. So this is set of 4 feet, and as you can see, there's 2 the same. So they've got 1 bar, and there's another couple with 2 bars, and as you can see, that the ones with 2 bars, so on this side, they are a little bit taller, and they snap magnetically to the Voyager in specific places. So you can't get this wrong. It only fits one way, and you've got this magnet in there, so it's very, very strong, and only goes one way, so you're always there. And this Voyager laser kind of edged piece of steel, feels like steel. It's magnetic, obviously. Allows you to keep these feet together. If you use them for, a very kind of light version of tenting, for something more extreme, you would have to use like the tripod stands and C-clamps or something like that. I'm going to put it back in there. And in here, you've got two halves of the keyboard. So the thing about ZSA's keyboards is that every keyboard is made to order, because obviously they don't know which switch you're going to pick. So I'm sure they've got some set of the most common switches available on hand. But they do believe they build them to order, they test them to order, and it can take a couple of weeks to shipping. My experience, they have told me that it's going to ship within 3 weeks, but in fact it shipped within a week, I think 5 days, and it came to the UK. It shipped on a Wednesday, and it was with me on a Friday. So very, very quick indeed. And there's some additional taxes and duties that you might have to pay upon receiving the keyboard. But that varies by country, so you have to check. So this is the left half. So straight off the bat, I have to say, this feels really, really good quality. There's some good weight to it. As you can see, black. The PCB is green, kind of pokes through the holes. This is where the tripod mounting kit snaps on magnetically. And you can see little indents in here. There's one in here on the thumb cluster that's got 2 bars, and there's another one in here that's got 1 bar. As you can see, it's lighting isn't great, but you can see. So that's where these feet would fit in. So there's one with this one with a single bar supposed to fit in here. So that allows you to kind of angle the keyboard a little bit like that off the table. So the feet lifts it up a little bit. I personally tried lots of different arrangements for tenting, and for the most part, I prefer to stick with just flat on the desk. That's what I recommend for anyone to start, and take it from there. So that's the left half. Let's take the right half out as well. You just stick off. So these little kind of cloth-like, I don't know how to describe it, kind of microfiber woven style paper coverings. Useful if you want to transport your keyboard. I want to reuse that, but I think it's considered packaging. Let's put it to the side. Okay, so here's the main event. It's configured for QWERTY. So let's just put the keyboard to the side for a second and look at the rest of the case. So you got the 2 compartments when you put 2 halves. This comes off if you wanted to detach it and leave it at home or whatever if you don't use it. There's also a couple of zipped compartments in here. Oh, this is nice. So this has got a couple of spare long kind of piano keys. So this kind of cluster key here and here. This one, a couple of spare ones, just in case. I believe they partnered with a very popular keycap manufacturer to manufacture these keys. They are double shot PBT. What it means is that they got 2 plastics essentially. The translucent piece, the white piece, is shot through. So if you were to look into the keycap, you can see that it's actually white inside, because that's the second layer of plastic. So that's what shots through to this white bit. So essentially what it means is that they will pretty much almost never wear out. So you always have this shine through RGB option, and they shouldn't wear out. Okay, put them to the side here. So this is a nice little zip compartment. It's kind of shallow. It only goes about, kind of see as deep as my finger. So I don't know, that's 2 to 3 inches. So it doesn't go all the way through, but it's good enough for cable. And what's in here? Again, it kind of goes 2 or 3 inches deep. And then there inside, there's a little kind of Velcro loop. So not sure what that's for. Wonder if you can put your house keys in there or something so you don't lose them. Don't know. Or a key, or maybe one of those YubiKeys keys if you've got a 2FA. Who knows? Anyway, so that's it. Let's put the case to the side and let's look at the keyboard. So as you can see, it's not a massive keyboard. It only has, what's that, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 4 is 24, 24, 25, 26. So 52 keys. 52 keys. So standard keyboard has, anywhere between 80 and 115 keys or something like that. I'm not sure exactly, but I have tried the Moonlander, which has even more keys. So I believe it has extra row, extra FAM cluster key, and an extra column, I believe. Maybe. I can't remember exactly, but it's got more keys than this. So my current keyboard of choice, let's just unplug it. So we can compare. Let me unplug these cables. As you can see, it's 34 key layout and is about, you can see the size comparison. It's substantial, but it's not absolutely massive. So this is a very compact keyboard. Again, uses the same kind of switch, but it's only 34 keys. This one is very bare bones, hasn't got any RGB, it's not hot swappable, it doesn't run on batteries, and anything like that. No lights, no nothing. It's just very, very simple. As you can see, that's my kind of homemade magnetic mounting system that I'm currently using. So if I put this to the side, let's just have a little look at here. So I believe, so you've got, on the top here, you've got 2 ports, the TRSS sockets. So that's where the TRSS cable goes in between. So this sort of cable goes in between the halves. That's connected together. One thing to note is that you should connect the halves together before you connect the USB cable in power, because here essentially you've got a couple of data lines, ground and positive voltage. So when you plug that in, obviously you're shorting things across. You're applying voltage to contacts inside as you're plugging in. So you want the keyboard to be off while you're doing that. So this cable is not hot swappable. Always disconnect the USB before you do that. And if you look closely in there, just there, you've got a couple of LEDs here and also on the other side in here. A couple of LEDs. So I believe they, by default, they configure to indicate which layer you are on. So when you plug it in and you're switching between layers, it follows kind of a binary notation for which layer you're on. It can configure up to 32 layers. I mean, that's crazy. Nobody needs that, but you've got the option to do that. And as you can see, I went with the kind of standard US layout option, which essentially means that you've got the number row here follows the symbols on the number row follow the kind of standard American ASCII layout. So number 2 is @ 3 is hash, 4 is dollar, versus the British one will be, number 2 will be, I believe, apostrophe, and number 3 will be a pound sign, the British pound. I went with this because it's standard. I use US QWERTY layout because it's the most common layout that's available on most systems. So I'm SSHing the machines and things like that. I don't have to worry about layout issues. Most of the time, US layout is the default. Like I said, I'm going to be switching the layout around. So at the moment, there are no homing keys. So F and J typically would have a little homing bump, so you can locate your finger without looking down. But there's no homing bumps here, so I have to swap this out later. Another good addition to this, so as you can see, the only half that you connect to the computer is the left half. So that's the only one that has the USB-C port. So that's something you should bear in mind. Now, this is very good quality. I've got to say, the quality on this is substantial. This got some weight to it. Another good thing about the ZSA is that the keyboards are put together in a way that you can take them apart easily. So if you need to fix it at some point, they do offer spare parts. They don't shy away from, oh, you're locked in or whatever. No, you can buy spare parts. You can modify the keyboard yourself. As I said, the the key switches are hot swappable. It is shine through RGB, so the RGB is on the keyboard. And you can configure all the different effects through Oryx, the online configurator. One thing to note, the Oryx, the firmware on this is actually QMK based. So they support the project, they contribute towards the project. QMK is the quantum mechanical keyboard firmware. It's very, very configurable, but you don't have to know how to use it kind of down to the code level when you're editing code, creating layouts and your key maps in code. You don't have to do that. You can use the Oryx visual configurator. I'm going to make a video about that in the future. But like I said, you can take it apart. They do encourage that you fix it yourself. They want to support the kind of right to repair movement. Obviously, don't do it while you're in warranty. By default, you get 2-year warranty. When you're purchasing the keyboard, you can actually pay for an extended warranty for additional 2 years, I believe. I don't think it's that expensive. I think it's about $70. So all in all, very, very good. Easy to take apart. Another good addition, good change from departure from Moonlander is that Moonlander had a tiny little hole in around this area where you had to put a little pin to reset the keyboard into the bootloader mode. So if you wanted to flash a new version of the firmware, you had to find like a SIM tool or paperclip or something to poke it through the hole. Or if you got it, if you configured it before, you could configure it to one of the keys or key combination or combo to put it in bootloader. Well, Voyager did a little bit better. So they've put this little cutout here, and this is actually built into the case. It's like a flexible, I'm not sure how well it comes out. It's not very well focused, but little divot, and you can press this. This is the reset key. This is what puts the keyboard in the bootloader mode, and it's not easy to press. So you are not likely to kind of do it by accident. But anyway, you can just you find it's nice to have an option. Physical reset switch is always a nice option. I always add, once I get to the point when I configure my layouts, I always add a kind of sort of key bind somewhere, one of the layers that allows me to do that through a key binding. And yes, so I mean, this is really good quality. I'm pleasantly surprised. Layout is a little bit different. As you can see, the stagger, this is a columnar layout, so that means that the columns are staggered. The rows are not staggered, so it's an even row, so it's not ortholinear where it's an even grid of rows and columns. The columns are staggered. But from what I can see, I mean, let's just compare kind of my left-hand position. So I've got a little sticker here that allows me to locate my index finger key, and my kind of hand naturally rests on this thumb key. But with this, let's say F would be my home key. So it's a little bit different, but I don't mind it. I think because the thumb cluster is kind of more extreme to this way in terms of being a little bit closer to the bottom row of the keyboard, that means that this pinky stagger here doesn't have to be as extreme as here. So as you can see, the difference between this column and this column is quite substantial. I mean, this middle key here is almost level with this bottom key on middle key on this column. So it's this tiny little difference here, maybe a fifth, maybe 1/8 of the height of the key. Whereas on here, you've got the middle key S. It's almost the opposite. So the A here is actually just kind of, I don't know, a quarter from the top. So that means so actually in here, you can see my hand matches the layout on here, but that means that my thumb is not quite, I have to kind of do this to get there. But because this is more extreme, that means I can have my hand kind of more stretched out. So I'm still landing on this thumb key quite comfortably, but that means that my pinky stagger doesn't have to be. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of more natural because the angle of this changes. So your hand kind of wants to go this way, kind of wants to curve like that, like a fist, if that makes sense, like a claw grip. But you can kind of rest to the side, and it all aligns nicely for me. And then this, obviously, these keys. So in my case, these keys used for tab and enter. So they're not used that much, but they're still very well accessible. I've got medium hands. They're not big, they're not small, but they're medium. And I think I'm going to be really comfortable with Voyager. It's going to take a little bit of adjustment because I've been on a Ferris for a little while now, and but I'm looking forward to the change, to try it out. This is a very polished package. As you can see, the finish is very, very good. The black is nice and matte. Again, these keycaps are made from PBT plastic, so they don't tend to develop this kind of shine that you get on cheap keyboards or cheap keycaps. Double shot, so the Legends will not wear out, or at least for decades, really. They probably outlive the keyboard itself. Hot swappable, so you can swap the switches. I don't need to do that now, so I'm not going to do that, but you can essentially remove the keycap. Just going to remove this keycap for now, and you can put your little tool to grab it from each side, kind of bent a couple of clips in there and just pull it out. As you can see, they actually put, if I just bring it up, so they put little divots where the tool supposed to go, here and here. So it kind of guides you where to put your tool, the kind of claw, where to put it in, so you don't have to break your keyboard. So that's really good. They didn't have to do that. I've not seen it on another keyboard. So really trying to help you to prolong the longevity of the keyboard. It's really encouraging you to do that. And like I said, this is quality piece. Feels really good. Not super heavy. You could still comfortably travel with this. And as you can see, the thickness of it when it's stacked, it's not very thick at all. Haven't got, but I would say probably a couple of inches, maybe less than 2 inches. So you could even create your own case. They do have a nice little community online when people post various 3D printing models that you can use for kind of adding things to the keyboard. One thing to note, the spacing of the switches is not chock spacing. It's actually MX spacing. So what it means is that the distance from the middle of the switch to the middle of the next switch, it's spaced as if these switches were Cherry MX switches. So they'll be bigger than chock. So as you can see, if you compare it to this, so this goes for 5 columns, and these columns are just a little bit tighter. That makes sense. The keycaps are a little bit smaller, and the switches are a little bit closer together. So I would say this is probably a good thing, because most people will be used to kind of Cherry MX spacing, because for the most part, that's the spacing you get in most standard keyboards that you probably ever used. If you got a keyboard by default with the machine, used at school, at work, chances are it's Cherry MX style keyboard. So that's no problem at all. Like I said, there's a number of switches you can get these days from various websites for the chock kind of profile, chock version 1. There's clicky ones, there's various actuation forces, very, very light ones, like 15-gram ones, which are very, very light. If you're a very large touch typer, then that will be up your street. All the way up to really, really heavy ones, like I think 80 grams is probably the heaviest they sell. So you can sort them out. Some people like to put different style of switches depending on which keys they use. So they like light ones for the letters. And for example, for the thumb cluster, they like something heavier or clicky to kind of get that feedback when they press the key. So this is taking a little bit long now. It's over half an hour. I'm kind of rambling on, but this is a quick unboxing of the keyboard. As you can see, this is a quality package. I have used ZSA before. I'm going to make more videos to kind of show how I configure it, how to use the Oryx configurator, how to use the desktop application called Keymap that they recently released. And I'll just go through all the features of Oryx, because really that's the selling point. This uses open source firmware QMK. You can build a keyboard, you can program it yourself, you can download the source code, you can compile it yourself if you wanted to. But I think the added value they get from ZSA is the Oryx configurator, which allows you to do it far easier, especially if you're a beginner. In the future, I'm going to make a video showing both ways, how I do it now for my favorite sweep, which cannot be configured with Oryx. There's other solutions like Via and Vial. I'm going to go through those. But Oryx is hands down the easiest way to get started with a programmable QMK keyboard at the moment. I can't think of another solution that's as easy. Although it comes as a premium, you have to buy a keyboard from ZSA. But these are quality keyboards. They don't produce crap. This is going to last you. It's a worthwhile investment. and I would recommend it. And yeah, I'm gonna finish it there because it's been well over half an hour. Far longer video than I expected to make, and I hope that this gave you an idea of what's in the box. If you've got any questions, you can post them in the comments. You can drop me a like. If you found this video useful, consider subscribing. Although I'm not posting that many videos at the moment, I will be posting more. And and I hope to kind of see you in the next video. And have a good one. Cheers.